Hello and welcome to video 4 of your training. In this video we want to give you some real trade examples. Now that you know how to set up the charts and the basic rules of trading with this system, we just want to go through them all again with some real trade examples. We're going to set them up on the MetaTrader charts and walk you through what we need to do that, and then we're going to help you look for the trades and show you what's actually done as we're making the trades and what happened afterwards. Let's just get started. We'll go right into MetaTrader and show you 3 trade examples so that you can use this system well. Okay, so taking a look at a trade example here, this one is on the British pound US dollar chart, and we're looking at the 15-minute charts. This should always be traded on the 15-minute charts. It's just after the 1600 time frame, so we need to draw some lines here. We need to draw, first of all, a vertical line at 1600, and then we need to draw a vertical line at 1400. So using the vertical line tool in MetaTrader, it's just 2 simple clicks to do that. We grab the vertical line tool and click, and now we have our 2 vertical lines. We also need to draw horizontal lines at the price points, the high price point of this in between this time frame and the low price point in between this time frame. So we get the horizontal line tool and click at the high point, and we get the horizontal line tool and click at the low point. So now we have our horizontal lines, and that actually is off just a little bit. I'll just show you how you can adjust a line if you don't get it in the right place. You can right click on a chart, click properties, click object list, and the last line that you added will be on the bottom. So we're just going to edit this, and we're going to move it up 1 pip so that it's right below the bar. So I just changed that from 3.4 to 3.3, and there we go. So now we have our high point, our low point, and in between those 2 lines we need to calculate the difference. So we're just going to use a calculator to do that, to find out if this is a good place to trade or not. The expectation here is that once the price moves past this point, it's consolidated a little bit, it's either going to go up or down, and in either case, if you catch it on the breakout, it's an opportunity to make some pips in a fairly short period of time. This order points that were set are only good for a day, but first let's just calculate this. So we've got 1.5067 is the high point, minus 1.5033 is the low point. So we've got a 34 pip spread in between these 2 lines. This is a good place to place our orders. So we would place our buy order on this line at 1.5067, and we would place our sell order at 1.5033. When we put these orders in place, we set them so that they automatically get hit when the price moves past the point of entry, and in this case we would have set our orders. We would have set our stops at the same distance back as the spread, so 34 pips in between these lines. We would have placed our buy order here with a 34 pip stop. We would have placed our sell order here with a 34 pip stop, and then as this currency pair moved forward, it did break out, it moved up, and we would have set our take profit level on this order here at 50 pips. We might have actually set it a little bit higher as you gain more experience with this, but in this case it would have moved up. We hit our 50 pip take profit level a couple hours later, so this order was a nice profitable order, and that's one example of how this system works. And let's take a look at a couple more examples. Okay, taking a look at another example here, I'm looking at the Euro US dollar on the 15-minute chart, and the 1600 hour has just passed. So we draw our lines. I've drawn these already. I drew a vertical line at 1600, and I drew a horizontal or another vertical line at 1400, and then I drew a horizontal line at the low price point in between those 2 time frames, and a horizontal line at the high price point in between those 2 time frames. So just to calculate this out, 1.33618 is the high point, minus 1.35956 is the low point, and that's 22 pips difference. So I would set that means we can trade. There's less than 50 pips difference between the top line and the bottom line, so it is a good point to trade. So we could set a buy order for the top line, 1.3618, with a stop loss at 22 pips behind at the low point, and we could set a sell order for the low point with a stop loss 22 pips behind, and then the price is going to likely move in either one direction and trigger our order. And in this case it did. It triggered our order right away. on the next bar actually, and the order was entered, and we set our take profit level for 50 pips, and that was also hit just about 45 minutes later. So another successful order, quite profitable in a short period of time. And even if our take profit level hadn't been hit, the order would have continued for a day and still hit the take profit level. So again, another good example. And let's look at one more trade example before we're finished with this. Okay, so looking at another trade example here, I'm looking at the Australian dollar, US dollar, this time on the 15-minute chart, and I've drawn my lines. I've drawn my vertical line at 1600, my vertical line at 1400, and then I've got a horizontal line at the low price point and a horizontal line at the high price point, and I've taken the time to calculate that. 0.9125 is the high, minus 0.9094 is the low, so there's a 31 pip spread in this case. So I set my buy order just at the high point, and I set my sell order just at the low point, and again I use a 33 pip stop on this one, and I would probably use a 50 pip take profit level. And then this order actually triggered my sell order right away, and it continued on, and eventually about 4 hours later our take profit level was hit, and we exit this trade with 50 pips in profit. So another trade example, and another good trade example of how this system can be profitable for you. So now that we've covered the rules of trading with this system and we've given you some examples of trading with this system, move on to video 5 to learn about the currency pairs you should be trading, and I'm going to give you a money management system that will help you stay profitable. And then once you've finished that video, make sure you practice this system every day until you're completely comfortable using it. Because it's a fairly fast moving system, it doesn't take much to practice it with a demo account, and that practice will help you to ensure that you stay profitable in the long run.